Guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for clicking on my channel. If you are new here, karibu sana. Sorry, if you're if you're new here, karibu sana. We really love visitors. My name is Nancy, for those who do not know me, and I do content, basically just giving a glimpse on leadership, creativity, interior design, that is, um, administration and what it means, or being an executive assistant, and many other things. We just have conversations over here. So guys, thank you once again for coming to my channel. So today I'd like to talk about aging parents. We are in myself, I'm in an era where I'm seeing, or I've been privileged to see my parents age, and it has its moments. Sometimes I am happy about it. I feel really privileged to have that opportunity to actually witness the goodness of God in their lives. However, there are also those times when I keep thinking, oh my, I didn't see this coming. Oh wait, she did not say the correct word, or he did not recognize this person, or acknowledge the presence of this person. And so it's been pretty much for me a discovery, and just taking nuggets of wisdom, taking nuggets of observing so much about my parents, my aunties aging as well, and my uncles. It's really interesting. Of course, we've had unfortunate circumstances of burying some of the people that I regard as my moms and dads, in terms of uncles and aunties, who really shaped who I am. And again, may their souls rest in peace. And my heart still goes out to their children, and entirely their all family, the entire family. But it's been interesting. It's really been interesting for me. And sometimes I pray for them. Not sometimes, I pray for my parents with gratitude, but sometimes I'm praying of, hey God, please keep them. But then the reality of life is, we are here. This is not the final destination. If you're a believing Christian, then definitely, or even just any human being, we are not here forever. We will grow older by the grace of God. Some of us, yeah, and it's the journey of life. It's the journey of life. But then, the reason why I say I marvel at God's creation and God's work is the certain notable changes that I've been able to observe, uh, just watching my parents as they've aged. Both my parents are in their 80s, and again, I say this with so much humility and humbleness, that they have been a blessing into my life, and also I'm sure in my siblings' lives. And so, yeah, friends. Yeah, so what are some of the things I've been able to note whenever I am so muscle? And so you'll find like it's difficult for them to manage daily tasks. But for someone like my mom, I'm really impressed, because my mom cleans the floor, not with the stand-up broom like the mop. No, she actually just goes down and mops her space. So for me, that has really been amazing, seeing her cook. She's able to still cook, and be in the kitchen. I really appreciate that. Yeah, she's basically been able to do most of the things by herself. So again, I say it is a privilege. The other thing is that I've noticed with my parents is a decline in cognitive memory. So I'm just referring to my notes. So they might not remember certain things that happened in the past, or certain dates they easily forget. So it is good, for example, if you are living with them, or staying with them, or you keep checking up on them to actually ask, okay, do you remember this? Do you remember that? And sometimes I've noticed that our conversations can, again, just having a banter, trace back to when you were growing up. You remember when you did this? You remember when you did that? So it jogs their memory. So there's that cognitive what is it called, cognitive decline in memory. And sometimes you could be thinking, how are you forgetting? How did you forget that you took me to this school and then we went here? How do you forget? But again, it's just, again, their brains are in terms of recognizing or remembering certain things, the memory is slowly fading away. And it's not a sickness or they have dementia or anything like that. No, no, no. It's just that they do not remember and they're not pretending. Yeah. And so, or they might not even remember that you called. I've had situations where I'm having a conversation with someone, one of my parents, and they'll repeat to me something they told me a day or two ago. And I never tell them, no, don't stop telling me. I allow them to actually speak, and I still have the same expressions and all of that. And for me, that has been really, really helpful because it gives us something to talk about. Yeah. Again, in terms of doing many things for themselves, I thank God that they're both able to do stuff for themselves. My dad can still, roast meat, you know, take care of himself. So for me, that has really been helpful. Um, Again, emotionally, they sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're not okay. In terms of they have times when they don't want to do anything or don't want to talk or engage, and there are times that they want to engage. I've come to realize for someone like my mom, there are certain spaces she'll categorically say, no, I don't want to engage. And then there are certain spaces she will want to engage. And so, again, when it comes to such kinds of situations, I've learned how to be very patient. I remember there's a time my dad was at a certain airport, and because he was so tired, he had a layover, and the attendant on the other side um, was impatient with him in terms of asking for documentation, dealing with immigrations and all of that. But he was just genuinely tired, like really, really tired. And so when my dad inquired about something, she sort of went off on him. And I was just like, okay, God, whenever they're by themselves, where we are not able to be there as their children to clearly communicate what is required, may you cover them, and may they find kind people in the other in on the other side of the counter that could, um, you know, address their concerns. And so you really need to be very patient with elderly people. Like, they might not hear you well, they could be tired and thinking about something totally different. And you'll find many young people are very impatient when it comes to such kinds of things. Um, there could be behavioral changes. So some bouts of anger, sometimes they're confused, they're wondering, did I give Anne the change, or did I give Anita the change? Confusing names, that also happens. So again, what happens is keep schedules and sort of keep schedules so that they actually know what their routines are. But then also with the cognitive memory, I've learned and I've appreciated the fact that my sister Jen and the husband go to the library and get my mom books. Now, it could be as little as getting a puzzle where she's able to go through every week and recognize certain words. So it jogs her memory on, for example, certain, let me say, words. In fact, sometimes when I write messages, she'll be the first one to correct me and tell me, Nancy, you meant this and not that. Like, I noticed the last correction she made for me was, whenever you're writing you're not supposed to write you are not Y-O-U-R. No, it is Y-O-U''R''E. And I was just like, oh, that is so cool. So she remembers. She genuinely remembers. And so for me, that has been a blessing. Those are some of the things I've recognized when it comes, whenever I've interacted with my parents who are aging gracefully by the grace of God. God has been very kind to them and also to us to experience mothering and parenting, let me say, at this particular stage of their lives, and to just take nuggets. And for me, again, I say it's a privilege and a blessing that God has given to us as their children. Yeah. So again, the other thing that we do is, what my siblings do is review their medication to prevent overdosing. That also happens at this particular age a lot, because they're either taking, or your grandparents, whichever age you are at, keep in touch with these people, because sometimes aging can be lonely. Your kids are away, everybody's doing their own thing. So for me, I say, for kids and grandparents, keep in touch with these people. Call them. I call my mom every single day, apart from Saturdays and Sunday. And unless she's gone for doctor's appointment or they have a church activity, then that's the only time I do not call. But I call her every single day. I also check on my dad weekly. Like every single week, I have to check on my dad. He's a dude, so sometimes stories in Aisha. Okay, the banter, as in things to talk about, sometimes are kidogo, but he's very active. He's very jolly. He'll always tell you, oh, I went to do this and I went to do that. Oh, this person came to see me. And they're just happy. They're just happy to hear your voice, to know that you're doing well and that you checked up on them. Yeah, so if you're a grandchild, check up on your grandparents. If you are, a nephew, niece, check up on those guys who have gone ahead of us in terms of age. And then for me, I normally believe that do good and it will come back to you. You never know that God will bring into remembrance, hey, that this person used to like their grandparents. Let me go. I used to see Uncle so and so going to visit Shosho and Guka a lot, and they had a good relationship, and they will remember. And even their kids will remember. Remember also, we are modeling for the future generations on how to relate with us when our turn gets there. That's very important. But for me, honoring my parents, and by honoring it's a huge word. Again, that I've come to realize that's a huge topic, that people who've not had a very good relationship with their parents. I won't talk about that today. However, if you do have a good relationship with your uncles and aunties who are elderly, or even your parents that are elderly, please check up on them. As I said, aging can be very, very lonely, and these guys really appreciate whenever somebody takes an opportunity just to ring them, not even to visit, just to ring them, call them, find out. Video call. These days we have WhatsApp video, we have Google Meets, and these guys are connected. So let's form a habit, or let's have a habit of checking on our elderly and aging parents. Yeah, guys, that's what I wanted to talk about today. If you found this video helpful, kindly share. If you're a new subscriber and you've not subscribed, kindly subscribe, share, click the notification bell, and please give this video a thumbs up. So guys, thank you so much, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye bye.